All right, it's Mr. Giles with another Sumo Paint tutorial. I'm really liking Sumo Paint because it's free, it's online, you can use it in a lot of different locations. There's a lot of buggy things that happen, and one of the solutions for any buggy thing that happens is you go up to your reload button or your refresh button, depending on what browser you're using. So that's my encouragement. You also have all these menus, you have special effects, there's a lot you can do. Let me start out with a few basics. Okay, number one, you have your brush choices, and there's actually like a lot of really cool like just shapes and things that you can paint with. So like I could paint with a triangle and just sort of get like, you know, using a different brush. I can just use the shapes like this leaf. Okay, so I could do a lot of design with the leaf, and I could change color. Now you'll see how light that was. If I hold my button down, I click multiple times, it darkens it. That has to do with the flow. So if you make your flow super strong the first time you click, it's going to be super dark. So the flow affects if it's more see-through. You can also make it have more opacity. Opacity is also how it's see-through. So like if you change the opacity, see, it gets lower and lighter. Okay, now changing color. You got to make sure you're changing your foreground color. And I'm not exactly sure. I haven't even figured this out yet. How to change the background, like how to use the background color. I think it works with certain tools. You'll also notice at the top here, every time you click on a tool, you get different sets of options across the top. Okay, so right now I'm on the paintbrush tool, which is what I'm going to use the most of probably for this tutorial, but I want to show you a few other really cool things. For example, the Symmetry Tool. When you click the Symmetry Tool, it automatically, isn't that awesome? Does symmetrically things. So I'm going to change the color. Look at that. Boom. I'm going to change the color again. And you can get any shade of any color by dragging this, and you can see the color change in this little box, and you can also see it change right here. And this again is the foreground color. So if your color isn't working, check that and make sure that that's selected. So that is really, it's just kind of fun to when you draw with this, it's a lot of fun. And then you can click down here to pick a solid color. And then, oh, this is the other thing. You got to change your diameter. So I usually don't draw with a leaf. I like to draw with this Airbrush 5, which if you look at it, it's got a solid edge around it. So you get a cleaner line. Now I'm going to turn off the Symmetry Tool for right now, but I love the Symmetry Tool, and you should definitely play with the Symmetry Tool. But we're going to change the size so that I can do more accurate drawing. So like if I want to draw like little lines, or you know, something small, maybe some pair of eyeballs, you know, I'm going to use that. If I want to fill it with color, I'm going to make sure it's closed. I'm going to get the paint bucket tool, and let's say I want them to have like a light blue eyes, and I click here, it fills all the color that's touching. Now on the paint bucket tool, I'm going to hit Control Z to undo. You can also undo by using these arrows. I can redo or undo any of the things I've done. See, it's getting rid of my eyeball and those things right there. The tolerance is how strong the paint bucket is going to work. So you see, I don't know if you can notice, but there's still a faint black outline. It didn't completely change it, and that's because your tolerance was low. I'm going to hit Control Z, and I'm going to change my tolerance and make it much stronger. Let's make it 38%. Let's see what that does. Not quite. I'm going to undo again. I'm going to go strong till it gets rid of all the black. Almost. Control Z. Let's go tolerance to 84%. There you go. See that? Now I'm going to zoom in with the magnifying glass, and you'll see that I have a zoom in or zoom out. So I'm going to zoom in, and you can see pretty much all the black is gone. If I hit the minus sign, I can click and zoom back out. Okay? So I now have some of the basic tools. Now there's some other great tools. This tool right here, it's the Symmetry Tool. So it literally does symmetry automatically for you using whatever brush shape you have selected. Now it only gives you these choices. It gives you square, narrow, kind of like a calligraphy pen. So you can sort of have like a straight up and down line and other things. I can make it thicker, change my color. Oh, that's rad. That looks awesome. So and I'm going to zoom back in. If I click this button and I click Fit on Screen, it will fit it to the screen. I can go to actual pixels, so it goes to the actual size. I like Fit on Screen, and I can always zoom back out by clicking on the minus sign and then clicking anywhere, and it will zoom out. So now we've got some basic understanding of those tools. Here's some of the things. I'm just going to clear this. I'm going to hit the trash can and clear my screen off. Now I'm going to use the shapes. Now this is really awesome. It makes shapes with a gradient. This is called a gradient. A gradient is when it goes from one color to another. And in this case, it's using this preset gradient. And there's a, you can set, I guess you can set your gradient colors here or set your pattern. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow, that's cool. So look at all these shapes are going to use that color. I've got the we call this the Pac-Man tool, which is a lot of people discovered this the other day, and I'm like, ooh, the Pac-Man tool's fun. So you can have Pac-Man eating, you know, power dots or whatever. You have a custom shape, which means you can draw the shape, and then I think it closes it in. Oh, yeah, awesome. So you can make a custom design. I can just go crazy like this, let go, and it fills it in. And then always you have your Control Z to undo, or you have this back arrow to undo. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, effects, adjustments. So you can adjust colors. You can do filters. You can open an image. So for example, file open from URL. I'm going to find a picture on Google here. I'm just going to type in cute cat. Okay. Aww. Which is that there's a cute cat right there. Cat and a bunny. I'm going to just right click and copy the link address. That's the URL. Okay. And I'm going to go back to Sumo Paint, and I'm going to go File, Open from URL. And I'm going to just highlight this, and I'm going to paste Control V. So I right clicked and copied, and I Control V to paste, and I say Open. Okay. And the open is happening. Paint could not load image from, oh, I see. Let me go back. I think I've got to actually go to view image. So I'm going to go to the image here. And if you look at the top, this is called the URL right here, the address. So I'm going to highlight it. Now I'm going to press Control, and then I'm going to tap C. I'm going to go back to Sumo Paint. I'm going to go to File. And let's see, Open from URL. Let's try this one. I'm going to highlight that and Control V, paste, and open. Oh, it worked. So look, it made a new image. So now we're going to try some of these filters and adjustments on a picture. So for example, I can change the brightness or contrast. Brightness is like this. See that? It gets brighter, darker. Contrast does that. So you can get some interesting effects by changing the brightness and contrast. I kind of like the original color. It's actually pretty nice. So I'm going to just cancel that because their original picture's pretty good. You can change the color balance. So you can change how much red is in the picture, how much green is in the picture, or how much blue. That's that RGB. If you ever see RGB, even on the back of your TVs, some of your older TVs have a RGB color adjustment. So that's how we adjust the color, and you can take out reds, or you can add reds or greens. So I'm going to cancel that. Adjustment, color temperature. You can make it a warmer or a cooler color by adding a blue or an orange. I like warm with the kitten. I'm going to leave that. We want a warm, fuzzy color. And then you have lots of, like hue saturation. You can sort of make this like a black and white picture, like that. So you pull the color out or leave just a little bit of color. And then you can go filters. Now check out these filters. You can blur it, so it sort of blurs the picture. You can distort it, like go kaleidoscope. What? Check that out. You can take your kitten and make it into some kind of crazy pattern. You can make it see-through. You can change the scale of how big it is, and then just use that pattern. It's actually really amazing. What you can randomize it. I'm gonna. Can I cancel? I don't see a cancel. I'm gonna say OK, and then I'm gonna say undo because I didn't really like that particular option very much. Filter. You can add effects like lightning. I have no idea what. Oh, look at that. You can actually add like a actual light, so that it's, oh, how cool is that? That is amazing. So you can make it look like there's like a street light or something right there. I'm going to Control Z. That's really cool. I didn't even know that existed. Texture. I don't know what a bump map is, so let's see what happens when you, whoa, that's scary. It looks like it, I don't know what that did, but you just play with these. So There you go. There's a lot of fun things you can do with Sumo Paint. It's a very powerful program. If you ever have a problem with Sumo Paint, again, you're going to want to go up and click the refresh button, and that's going to take care of some of your problems with that. All right. Have a great day. This is Sumo Paint. Enjoy.